Although, actually, I think I know Tiffany Boone.
Which one is she?
Delilah?
I thought I knew her too, and I don't think I do either.
Oh, she was Ursula, young Ursula on Once Upon a Time.
Oh.
I remember. Weirdly, that is it.
Yeah.
It was only one episode, but... We're back. I am Will.
I'm Kristen.
This is So I'm Watching 9 Perfect Strangers, episode 3.
Earth Day.
I still don't know what to make of this show. I've gotten the most out of this one.
Yeah.
In particular, the girls' scene in the river and then the pool.
Yeah.
And frankly, even the men's scene and the banquet. It's doing the thing where it's making me feel dumb because there's things about the show that I just assumed and we're getting confirmation of them, but the show's treating it like it's a reveal.
Oh.
And so I'm like, yeah,
Dadoy.
But the show's waiting, they're waiting for me to be like, and so I feel like I'm using a lot
of... If anything, you should feel smart then. Because you guessed it first. But guessing is no, it all seems very clear.
Okay, so I don't know where to start with this one. I don't know what because I want to go right to the end, but I feel like we should preface it a little bit. But it was Napoleon's Day with Masha. I don't know why he was so excited because he wasn't interested one iota in anything she was trying to do.
None of these bitches are doing the work, and it's fucking driving me crazy.
It's like they won a contest. I'm like, did you not seek this out?
They won a contest. They are there from a charity perspective.
No, I know, but they still wanted it. They sought it out. It's like
he did though.
Okay.
The mom and the daughter were not as interested. Although the daughter seems to be getting a little something from it.
I don't know. She was a little bit annoying me with her mom and I know it's weird, it's uncomfortable, but she is 21, but she was very put out by her mom participating in this thing. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, in the skinny dipping.
A hippie retreat, that kind of shit's gonna come up. You're gonna hear about their love life.
Well, that's the thing is I was more on her team about not hearing about the parents having sex than I was about the nudity because it's you all have the same parts. You're all ladies. Just get naked.
I don't know. I'm just not precious about this. I'm not excited. I don't want to gossip I don't want to girl talk with my mom.
Sure.
But in a medical or religious, which I'm gonna factor this into,
sure.
I'm sort of just cope, just deal with it.
Okay, my other biggest problem with this is that everybody was too concerned about going one day without food. Just fucking do it.
They're getting the 2 smoothies,
smoothie in the morning, smoothie at supper time. I just and they're what are we supposed to eat all day? And they're you can forage anything you can forage on the land, eat whatever you'd like. And they are acting you can't just starve us. This is malnutrition. And I was you have to not eat for months before you're malnourished.
At least a week or 2. Plenty of
before it gets actually super detrimental to your
health. No, but my aunt has gone on several retreats and it's included periods of fasting. It's included periods of not speaking.
They also, that's you know what I mean? It's not even a full 24 hours. It's 11 hours. Do you know how often I go 11 hours without eating? It's ridiculous.
We didn't really touch on Tony's medicine stuff. They last week, they gave him his pills back.
No, just she gave him one pill
Okay.
back. Yeah. I think it's Oxy.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's had back and knee surgeries.
Because we found out he's a football player, or was.
He was something for the 49ers.
But he thinks she's not giving him, he thinks it's a trick.
I believe they gave him placebo at the beginning of this day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird. Carmel.
Well, okay. All of their smoothies were dosed this morning.
Well, we've thought that from the beginning.
Especially now, because at the end of the previous episode, they were it's time to move on to the next phase. And Delilah this whole time has been I don't think they're ready for that. There was some kind
Delilah's the only one I trust.
There's some kind of inhibition inhibiting, or ooh. Leave it in. There's some sort of inhibition lowering thing that she put in the smoothies this morning on Earth Day morning.
Well, it seems good for him.
Well, they got a lot off their chest. I really, really like Luke Evans, if I'm being honest, but Lars is not it for me.
I don't understand. He's being very antagonistic.
Yeah.
And like, for instance, because like,
I guess it's the same as like every time, like everybody gets drunk differently. So if it's that kind of inhibition lowering thing, then I can see how they're all acting out differently. But
well, I was gonna say,
but even before that, he was horrible.
Even Melissa McCarthy, what's her name?
Frances.
Even when she accidentally made that comment about Jessica and Ben, she was like, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I said that, you know? So yeah, I guess it is. But again, I just kind of assumed that's what was happening. And what is it about being what is it about being ready? Like, what would make them more like trust?
Maybe a little more trust. Maybe it usually happens like after this Earth Day exercise where they like go off the grid or whatever, but I don't know. I'm on Delilah's team a little, and maybe they weren't ready. The women fared much better than the men, but as per usual.
I was like,
no murders were committed with the women.
The goat thing was really weird.
Yeah. Especially because he was her pet.
And why did she pretend that was not the case? And why did Manny Jacinto let it happen?
I think this was sort of unprecedented. So he like didn't really, and I mean, technically Bobby Cannavale was right. They said whatever you can forage from the earth.
Look, I mean, I'm going to say something controversial, but I thought that was really fascinating, especially the like banquet at the end.
Yeah.
Where you're actually going to sort of like look God directly in the face and confront, you know, who you are and what you do. And I mean, Melissa McCarthy, Frances has the conversation about how she's like, I eat meat, I own leather. Like, I have never had to kill something before to eat. I think I could handle it. I think, I could certainly participate. My biggest issue is it being above board. Is it being,
or is this like, is it approved by the like scenario?
Not approved, but all I can think of is hygiene, and that's not the word I want. Like when it's kosher, like when you have to kill something, there's like standards. Like that, it's not.
Oh, sure.
What's the word that? Humane. I couldn't think of.
I was about to say hygienic.
No, humane.
I was like, you literally said no.
As long as it's humane, because it's like, and I mean, my grandparents and great grandparents in particular were farmers, so it's like that. My papa, on many occasions, like we have had Thanksgiving dinners and just food in general that he hunted and.
Here's the thing. I have eaten food that people I know have hunted, and it's generally delicious. I could operate in a society.
I actually think it's better than the factory. Than
of course,
going to the grocery store.
I mean, I try to buy like the organic, the like free range stuff as much as I can. The thing is I could operate in a society where I like watched the animals be raised and killed and whatever. I could do that. I don't think I could kill it. But I could eat it.
Mm-hmm.
If that was like, if
I wouldn't volunteer.
If the butcher family was doing that, I could eat
and the butcher,
and it would be fine. Yeah.
The butcher was next door, like you're familiar. Like, and so I found it very interesting because they were all sort of like, they were different degrees of like, oh my God, like what, like their reaction, severity, the degrees of severity. And again, I mean, I thought it was odd that Nicole Kidman was like wonderful, and then like when I don't know, the whole show is really odd.
I think she just was trying to like not let on that was not appropriate. Like I think she's trying to keep the
I think I'm looking for more than is there.
I think probably I think there's not as much there as we're hoping there is, but I think at that point she's just trying to keep the ship moving
well, she's
forward.
Desperate. Something is happening. Someone is after her.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced it's a stranger. I mean, that could easily be Lars following her out into the...
Well, they've also, though, now confiscated all of his, like, equipment, so...
I mean, I'm not saying necessarily that I think it is, but it clearly, when I went into this comparing it to White Lotus, so it was like, clearly I am coming at this sideways.
Yeah. So
I don't know, what to expect, but It's interesting, especially by the banquet, by this scene and the lowering of Michael Shannon of Napoleon's guards. I really appreciated his performance.
Oh, amazing.
Really appreciated the story.
Also the duality of his performance, because you kind of think that Heather is the one who is like at the cliff's edge, literally and metaphorically. And it turns out he's the one who's suppressing everything and is the one that's actually closer to falling off the metaphorical ledge. It's like, I fucking love Mike. I've loved Michael Shannon since the movie Pearl Harbor. So.
And I mean, we saw it come in the second that he panicked when Masha tried to get him to picture his son. But
yeah.
It just, and I mean, I wouldn't know how to live with that. I know the answer is you can't think of it that way. You can't blame yourself for that. And who's to say that it was fleeting? I mean, who's to say, I wouldn't know.
Also, the thing is, he's the one who keeps saying everything happens for a reason. You know, that's
I think he's trying to tell himself that.
Of course he's trying to tell himself that. And it's a horrible thing to have to think about if your child has committed suicide, which I have no way of knowing what that's like. But at the same time, it's sort of like, you know, at what point do you like believe in fate at that point? Like, perhaps that is what was supposed to happen in this world. It's a tragedy, but like, you don't know, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And especially in a show, in the confines of a show like this, I think those are the questions you're supposed to be asking, because this does feel very crunchy and woo-woo and destiny based.
But also, I mean, I think that like something like this, like an actual, you know, retreat, Earth Day banquet where you're eating and drinking and genuinely on a primal level understand what that means.
Yeah.
I think that's a very healing thing.
Sure.
I mean, with these stranger friends, like they're close in that they are required to be, but they don't know each other. Like, and I started to mention Carmel and we went off, but and they touched it, but she was being really weird with everybody, particularly Lars and Jessica. She attacked Lars.
Amazing. Who among us would not?
But she just like, came at Jessica sideways like 3 times.
And then I loved, though, Samara Weaving's performance in this episode where Jessica just was like, how about fuck off?
Well, no, my favorite is she said, if I've misconstrued something here, I apologize. But if not, you can fuck off.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was truly amazing.
And that she actually stepped to her. I was like, you're the one that's out of pocket. But
yeah, because she was like, don't ever speak to me that way again. And it's like,
don't speak to me that way.
You first, bitch.
But then in the pool, she sort of like confessed that her husband left her and that she has disdain for young, beautiful women and stuff. And Samara, the Jessica story, you know, that's pretty well trodden territory for me. So I know that, you know, sometimes she's so lucky she's a star, but she cries in her lonely heart. So it's like, I'm very like, I wouldn't come at someone that way.
No, of course not. She also, I want to say this in a very complimentary and not at all shady way. I'm being so sincere. She is doing her best Alexis Rose, and it is working for me.
Fingernails, her makeup's just a little too dark.
Oh yeah,
like the hair's just not the right color. She's got that like that when you see so many of these influencers, and it's like, oh man, you almost look. Yeah.
You're almost doing it right.
Like you're almost a celebrity. It's a very uncanny where it's like, I recognize all of these things are supposed to like convey wealth and beauty. Yeah. But there's just something not quite right.
Like Hulk Hogan's house.
But yeah, I don't know. It seems like they were all into a place, and then Heather, I didn't understand that either. So Heather accused Masha of drugging them after Napoleon came to his epiphany. But she said it very like it was really nefarious or really like, and I just didn't fully get that.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a tonal issue with this show where it's like it's not committing to one or the other. And I think it's doing a little bit of damage to how easy it is to interpret what's happening, because I agree with you. She came at it with like the, you know,
it was like
a sledgehammer,
a betrayal. And I was like, is that really that betraying?
Yeah.
And I mean, I forget that they are taking their blood, but I don't know. I don't like part of me wants this to be the farm from Riverdale.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
they're all gonna wake up with a kidney missing. We did get to the bottom of like Ben's whole deal, which is that he just won the lottery. Which is like, I can understand that giving you like feelings of inadequacy. They also were trying to have sex at the beginning, Ben and Jessica. Poor thing. She was like, "You're not hard," and he was like, "Well, you're not wet," and it was like, ah.
And she was like, "I feel like I would know before you would."
Yeah, I would be the first.
And he was like, "Well, maybe our frame of reference is different or something." And it was like,
"What's happening?"
It was very, what was that stupid hurricane, Donald Trump? Like, it's the biggest hurricane we've ever seen in terms of wetness.
Oh, yeah. I forgot he did that. Kind of like that, yes. Sure.
It's more stuff like that. I want more of that, where it's like, it's letting us, the audience, infer what's happening, and then every so often they'll kind of clunk us over the head with something, and I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, but
yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I was thinking also,
I don't know how many layers deep this onion goes, basically.
Right? No, that makes sense. I think what was interesting to me too is that Delilah was really, she seemed very taken with the idea of helping these women. She was very present and there for it and excited about it. And I feel like Yao was just like, God. Every time the men would say something, he was like, I could feel him wanting to rip his hair out.
Which is only confusing me further, because I'm like, then who are these three people?
Yeah.
And wherever the Cornish is, that
Glory is there, Lulu is there. I mean, yeah, there are other ones too. So
what enterprise is happening? Like,
so I feel like Manny Jacinto, I feel like Yao might be beholden to Masha in some way. And then I feel like they recruited Delilah, and so and Glory and Lulu, and so I feel like they don't know as much as he does. And so I think he's maybe getting a little disillusioned. That's what it feels like. Maybe he's the one that's going to kill Masha.
Is someone dying? Oh, the like messages.
Yeah, this was your last week on Earth. I don't know.
Well, we'll be back with the next episode tomorrow, I guess, or today, or in 2 days. I'm not sure. When we can.
Whenever this releases. Sometime after that. Keep watch. Subscribe, because then you'll find out exactly when.
That means.
Bye.